Have you ever watched someone laugh at a person who had nothing left to lose? Imagine a billionaire standing in front of a hard-working single dad, smiling with complete confidence as he says, "Quit if you dare." Everyone in the office expected fear. Everyone expected silence. But what happened next changed every life in that building forever. Sometimes the strongest people don't fight with angry words. Sometimes they simply walk away with their dignity. And sometimes, one brave decision reminds the world that kindness and self-respect are worth far more than money. Before we begin today's emotional story, welcome to Heartline Stories. If stories about kindness, courage, and second chances inspire you, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, and leave a comment telling us where you're watching from. Your support helps us share more heartfelt stories that remind us how powerful kindness can truly be. Michael Carter was a quiet man in his late 30s. Every morning before sunrise, he packed his 8-year-old daughter Lily's lunch, braided her hair the best he could, and dropped her off at school before driving to the headquarters of Harper Technologies. After losing his wife to cancer 3 years earlier, Michael had become both father and mother to Lily. Life wasn't easy. Bills never stopped coming. Sleep was a luxury. But he never complained. He simply worked harder. His co-workers respected him because he always helped others. If someone stayed late to finish a project, Michael stayed too. If a new employee felt nervous, Michael patiently showed them the ropes. His kindness quietly spread through the office, even if management rarely noticed. The company belonged to billionaire Richard Harper. Richard was brilliant, wealthy, and admired in business magazines across America. But inside his own company, employees feared him. He believed kindness made people weak. He often said, "People only work hard when they're afraid." One Monday morning, sales numbers dropped slightly because of a nationwide market slowdown. Richard stormed into the office furious. "I don't pay people to make excuses," he shouted. Everyone lowered their heads. Richard stopped at Michael's desk. "You've been here 7 years," he sneered. "Maybe you've become too comfortable." Michael calmly replied, "We're doing everything we can. The whole industry is struggling." Richard laughed loudly so everyone could hear. "If you don't like my leadership," he said, "quit if you dare." The office became completely silent. Most people expected Michael to apologize. Instead, he looked at a framed picture of Lily smiling at the beach. He slowly stood up. He placed family photos into a small cardboard box. He picked up his notebook, his coffee mug, and the tiny handmade Father's Day card Lily had given him. Then he looked directly at Richard. "I won't teach my daughter that respect comes after a paycheck," Michael said quietly. "I quit." Without another word, he walked toward the elevator. No one moved. Richard smirked. "Good luck finding another job," he called out. Michael didn't answer. That evening, Lily noticed her father was unusually quiet. "Dad," she asked softly, "did something bad happen?" Michael smiled gently. "I lost my job today." Her eyes filled with worry. "Are we going to be okay?" Michael knelt beside her. "I honestly don't know," he admitted. "But we'll always have something more important than money." "What's that?" "Our kindness." Lily hugged him tightly. Over the next few weeks, Michael searched everywhere for work. He attended interviews, updated his resume, and even delivered groceries to earn extra money. Money became tight. One afternoon at the grocery store, Michael noticed an elderly woman struggling to pay for her food. She was a few dollars short. Without hesitation, Michael quietly paid the difference. The woman smiled with tears in her eyes. "You didn't have to do that." "My daughter reminds me that kindness always comes back," Michael replied. Unknown to Michael, another customer had witnessed everything. Her name was Emily Brooks. She happened to be the CEO of a fast-growing technology company looking for a new operations director. She recognized something no resume could ever show: character. The next morning, Michael received an unexpected phone call. Emily invited him to lunch. Instead of asking about profits first, she asked about people. Instead of asking how many deals he had closed, she asked why he had helped a stranger when he clearly needed money himself. Michael answered honestly. My daughter watches everything I do. One day she'll become the kind of adult I teach her to be today. Emily smiled. I've interviewed dozens of candidates, she said. You're the first one who talked about values before success. A week later, Michael accepted an executive position at her company. The salary was better. The hours were healthier. Most importantly, the workplace respected people. Months passed. Emily's company continued growing rapidly because employees actually wanted to come to work. They trusted one another. They shared ideas. They helped each other instead of competing. Meanwhile, Harper Technologies faced serious problems. Talented employees kept resigning. Innovation slowed. Customers noticed declining service. Richard couldn't understand why. One afternoon he attended a national business conference. As he walked into the ballroom, he froze. Standing on stage beside Emily Brooks was Michael. The audience applauded as Emily introduced him. This is Michael Carter, she announced. He transformed our operations by building a culture where kindness and accountability work together. Richard couldn't believe it. After the presentation, he approached Michael. I underestimated you, Richard admitted quietly. Michael smiled politely. No, he replied. You underestimated kindness. Richard looked embarrassed. I thought fear created strong companies. It creates silent employees, Michael answered. Respect creates loyal ones. Those words stayed with Richard for weeks. For the first time in years, he walked through his own offices instead of rushing past them. He noticed exhausted faces. He heard nervous voices. He realized people weren't failing because they lacked talent. They were afraid to speak. Slowly, Richard began changing. He apologized to employees. He introduced mentoring programs. He rewarded teamwork instead of fear. It wasn't easy. Trust takes time to rebuild. One afternoon, he invited Michael to visit. I wanted to thank you, Richard said sincerely. You don't need to thank me. I do. Richard looked around the office. You leaving forced me to face the kind of leader I had become. Michael smiled. People don't remember how powerful you were. They remember how you made them feel. Richard nodded quietly. I finally understand. That evening Michael picked Lily up from school. She climbed into the car with a huge smile. Guess what? She said excitedly. I helped the new girl today because she was eating lunch alone. Michael smiled proudly. What happened? She smiled. He laughed softly. Sometimes that's the biggest reward. As the sun set, father and daughter drove home together, knowing life would always have challenges. Jobs would come and go. Money could disappear overnight. But kindness, courage, and self-respect were treasures no one could ever take away. If this story touched your heart, remember this simple truth. The richest person isn't always the one with the biggest bank account. It's the one whose kindness changes someone else's life. Never let anyone convince you that compassion is weakness. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is walk away with your dignity, choose kindness even when life is hard, and trust that goodness has a way of finding its way back. Until next time, thank you for watching Heartline Stories. Take care of yourself, spread kindness wherever you go, and never underestimate the quiet strength of a good heart.